Entire groups of people gone. No bodies. No signs of struggle. No explanations. 2 different locations. 2 different centuries. But the same impossible outcome. Human beings vanished, leaving nothing but silence behind. In the mountains of southwestern Vermont, there is a place known as the Bennington Triangle, a stretch of dense forest and cold valleys where people have disappeared without a trace for more than 70 years. Locals say the mountains feel different here, that the air grows still and the quiet becomes heavy, as if the land itself is listening. Between 1945 and 1950, 5 people vanished from the same region, all within a small radius, all without witnesses, without clues, and without a single piece of evidence left behind. One of the first was Mitty Rivers, a 68-year-old hunting guide who knew the mountain trails better than anyone. He walked ahead of his group, rounding a bend, and in seconds he was gone. Search teams combed the forest for weeks, but no trace of him was ever recovered. 3 years later, 18-year-old Paula Weldon, a college student, walked along the long trail wearing a bright red coat. Somewhere along the path she vanished. No one heard a scream, no one saw a struggle, and the snow carried no tracks leading away from the trail. Her disappearance grew so infamous it sparked the creation of the Vermont State Police. But the mystery only deepened. Hikers reported strange sounds in the woods, like voices calling from far away even when no one else was around. Others claimed the compass needle spun in circles or that they felt watched from behind the trees. Some locals whispered about an older story that the land itself did not like to be disturbed and that anyone who wandered too deep risked never returning. For decades, the Bennington Triangle has been a place where people walk in and never walk out. And the most unsettling part, these disappearances echo another mystery from hundreds of years before hundreds of miles away, a colony that vanished as if the earth opened and swallowed it whole. The Lost Colony of Roanoke. This connection forms one of the strangest theories in American folklore. But to see why, we need to go back to where the story began. In 1587, more than 100 English settlers arrived on Roanoke Island off the coast of what is now North Carolina. They built homes, planted crops, and tried to form a new life in the New World. But within 3 years, every last one of them was gone. When the colony's governor, John White, returned from England, he found the settlement abandoned. The buildings were dismantled, valuables were missing, and the entire community had disappeared without signs of violence, without bodies, and without clues. The only mark left behind was carved into a wooden post, a single word, Croatoan. No one has ever explained what it meant. Some historians believe the settlers joined a nearby indigenous tribe. Others think they fled from starvation or disease. But there are darker theories. Some people claim the forest around Roanoke felt similar to the land in Vermont, quiet, heavy, and ancient, as if both places shared something. Beneath the surface, something older than the settlers, and older than the United States itself. As explorers searched the island, they reported strange markings on trees and silence, so deep their voices felt swallowed. What happened to the settlers remains one of the oldest mysteries in North America. And it is here that a connection to the Bennington Triangle begins to form. 2 locations hundreds of years apart. With one shared pattern, people vanish in places where nature feels different, as if the land itself keeps secrets that no one is meant to uncover. But in both places there is one more link, a terrifying idea that those who vanish are not taken by people but by something far older and far more patient. To understand that final link, we journey back to Bennington. Back in Vermont, the disappearances continued. In 1949, a veteran named James Tetford was riding a crowded bus returning to Bennington. When the bus reached his stop, his seat was empty, but his luggage remained. Every passenger insisted he had been there minutes earlier, and then he was simply not. 1 year later, the strangest case of them all, 8-year-old Paul Jepson, vanished while playing near a dump only a few yards from his mother. Dogs tracked his scent, but it stopped suddenly in the middle of a road with no tracks on either side. As investigators reviewed every case, they noticed a chilling pattern. The vanishings always occurred in areas where the land dipped, creating natural funnels, thick forests, deep ravines, and pockets of silence, where sound does not travel. Some researchers compared the pattern to other disappearance clusters across the United States, including Roanoke, suggesting that certain regions share geological similarities, magnetic anomalies, and ancient, indigenous warnings about places where people should not wander. Others believe the answer is far more unsettling, that both Roanoke and Bennington are part of a larger network of disappearance zones that stretch across the continent. Places where people vanish not because of crime or animals or weather, but because the land is somehow different. A place where civilization and nature do not meet, they collide. A place where time leaves no witnesses and history leaves no trace. And even today, both the Bennington Triangle and Roanoke remain unsolved. Two places centuries apart, bound by silence and the people who walked into it and never returned. Roanoke, the Bennington Triangle. Two disappearance zones that refuse to give back their dead or their answers. And as decades turn to centuries, investigators, historians, and entire generations are left with the same haunting truth. The land keeps its secrets, and the silence always wins. Maybe the land remembers. Maybe the land decides. Or maybe some mysteries were never meant to be solved, only feared. Thank you for watching. You have been exploring the darkness with Dark True Crime Archives, where the lost are remembered, and the mysteries remain.